guys, what's going on? My name is Louis, and God bless every single one of you. Today is July 2nd, 2023, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News channel. Alright guys, so we have some breaking news updates, very important information coming out. If you can, please share the video. And it says here, wind shift from east to west on July the 4th and the 5th will carry radiation into NATO countries. At the same time, the sleeping giants are sending a nuke sniffer. Once again, U.S. sends radioactivity measurement aircraft due to Ukraine. I want to read this part really quick. If you can, please share the video. The leader of the yellow and blue country distributes leaflets with instruction for a nuclear accidents to citizens. He's putting out a lot of warning, guys. Every single day he's announcing something about this event. Many people are prepping, they're buying stuff, they're going to pharmacy, they're getting pills, they're getting things, they're getting stuff ready for this event. Now they're saying July the 4th and the 5th. Other people saying possibly the 7th or the 10th of July. So overnight, the US rushed the dedicated WC-135R Constant Venus radioactivity control and measurement aircraft to this region air base in Crete. This development is directly related to nuclear developments around this region station. Alright guys, before I start, give this video a big thumbs up, share this video with your friends, families, or loved ones. I appreciate the love and support. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, once again, the PayPal link and the Patreon link is in the description box. Also guys, $1 a month Patreon will get you access to our live stream every Sunday. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also guys, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, Louis Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. If you can, please share the video. Very, very important. The signs are out there. The information is out there, but only a few people know what's really going on. This is when Dimitri, it was a video that was released in the early 80s. Dimitri had a vision that he saw multiple submarines in the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, and they were loaded with nuclear warheads, and they were going to be launched towards the U.S. And a lot of people were not aware. Dimitri saw this, he had a vision. And he heard a voice saying, Dimitri, this is what's going to happen to this great country. Dimitri's like, how? This is a country that, search for God's kingdom. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. And Dimitri's like, many people is not aware of what's going to happen to them. And that's the thing. They want it to be like that. Those in the spotlight are deceiving many. Hey, guys, over here. Titanic in 4K. Hey guys, over here, Ocean Gates. Hey guys, over here, the Supreme COURT, over here. Meanwhile, sleeping giant soldiers are being impacted, and now we're about to see some kind of event that could literally change this biblical war forever, which means that they're gonna have your sons and daughters put on the camouflage. All right, so changes in locals wind flow around July the 4th and the 5th will cause wind from this region nuclear power plant to blow east to west, carrying radiation into these areas and NATO countries if an event there caused a leak. Meanwhile, the sleeping giant sent a nuke sniffer plane over there. And that's when we're going to get to this one, guys. This here is going to be next, all right? There's a lot of information in here that a lot of people don't know. All right, so word is spreading like wildfire that the yellow and blue country plans to strike that plant on July the 5th or the 6th. Blame the event upon the bear, and that NATO would then use the radiation leakage into NATO countries as cause to declare an attack upon NATO has taken place. If NATO makes that decision, then Article 5 collective self-defense may be involved invoked by NATO against the bear, thereby bringing NATO into the bear and crane conflict. See, they don't know how to mind their own business. They want to sniff and get involved in all this. So look, if something happens to that plant, it ain't because of the bear. Now, a lot of sleeping giants gonna be like, yes, it is, Lewis. It's the bear. The bear is out of control. The bear is very mad, Lewis, and very bad right now. I see what the sleeping giant NEWS has done to you. Here's the thing, guys. If the bear wanted to fight the world, they just do it. They would just do it, but they don't want to. The sleeping giant NATO, they want to fight the bear. I don't know if you guys been reading the articles or watching my videos, but who's the one that's sending billions upon billions upon billions upon billions and billions and more billions inside Crane? It ain't the bear. And plus, now we got France. You got a whole bunch of group that is carrying some, military stuff. GUN. It ain't the bear giving that to them. Who's the one that's sending a whole bunch of equipment? Again, the sleeping giant and NATO. But again, what do I know? Poor Lewis. Lewis is for the bear. He doesn't like the sleeping giant no more. So the bear has repeatedly made clear that if NATO Article 5, if NATO declare Article 5 against the bear, that NATO conventional troop strength is superior to the bear, which would force the bear to use its own superior nuclear forces. Put simply, nuclear missiles will fly. All right, so quite considerably, last week, Crane began telling citizens to have pills or straight pills to take in case of a nuclear incident. On Friday night into Saturday, the sleeping giant sent a nuke sniffer plane called Constant Phoenix to the island of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea, just a hop, skip, and jump from Crane. On Saturday, the Yellow Blue Country began permanent evacuation of places within 16 kilometers of the nuclear power plant. Later Saturday, the bear told the people at the region nuclear power plant, which is controlled, they must evacuate the area and be out by July the 5th. Be out by July the 5th. The bear suggested they head to Crimea. The bear also instituted a 15 kilometers evacuation of Kherson region on Saturday. So all the civilians on both sides in the area of the nuclear power plant have been told to leave. Get out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge. OMG. And for those of you that have been missing my videos, there are sleeping giant soldiers and other land soldiers near this plant. Those videos not getting views, but those videos that is very important, it's the one that should be gaining views, because we are seeing some kind of a plan going on here. It gives us an idea of who is the one that's going to be responsible if this event take place. Now, I'm not saying the sleeping giant soldiers are bad. They take orders. They take orders from the dude that love to eat a lot of ice cream and sniff hair. All the pieces are now in place for someone to deliberately cause a huge event at this plant. And if such a leak take place, NATO has already said they will deem it as an attack upon NATO, bringing NATO into the biblical war. If NATO comes in, the bear says they go nuclear. In related news, more and more lands of the world are applying to join the new BRICS organization. BRICS stands for Brazil, the bear, India, the red dragon, South Africa. They have been openly talking about creating and using a new currency for settlement of international trade to get away from the sleeping giant dollar. The dollar being used for all international trade has made the dollar a financial weapon, which the sleeping giant then uses to impose sanctions upon other countries to get those lands to, to the will of the sleeping giant. Many countries are tired of the sleeping giant interference, but have been stuck with it because they need the dollar. If BRICS comes online with a new reserve currency, the sleeping giant control will collapse. Some people speculate that the sleeping giant and his, powerful ones will rather burn the world to the ground than lose control of it. Thus, the NATO efforts to find an excuse to come into the bear and crane fight, which will serve to burn the world to the ground. Finally, for anyone thinking there might be a negotiated settlements to this situation, the Yellow and Blue Country leader, Mr. Z, declared that he will not participate in any peace negotiation with the bear leader until the bear forces have left the occupied regions. Casting doubt on the prospect of bringing the biblical war in Crane to an end in the foreseeable future, the leader of Crane stated that his land will not entertain a diplomatic solution until the Yellow Blue Country 1991 borders are reestablished, meaning that the bear will have to retreat from its heavily entrenched position in these regions. That is not going to happen. Get right with God. Boom! We're going to get to this one here. Preparation for the unthinkable. WC-135R Constant Phoenix nuke sniffer rushed to Crete. The sleeping giant sends radioactivity measurements aircraft due to Crane. Now, yes, I did talk about this, but guess what? There's a lot more information on this in this article. Overnight, the sleeping giant rushed the dedicated WC-135R Constant Phoenix radioactivity control and measurement aircraft to this region airbase in Crete. This development is directly related to the nuclear developments around this plant. A few hours ago, the Ministry of H of Crane published information leaflets explaining what citizens should have with them in case of this event. You can see the leaflets at the end of the text. The sleeping giant sent a nuke sniffer to Crete. Now, again, guys, I will talk about this again because a lot of people didn't watch the other video, but it's very important to bring this information up. So the sleeping giant has deployed its only radioactive contamination, monitoring aircraft in Europe. A WC-135 Constant Phoenix landed at this region airbase in Crete. The Bear Media reports confirming the relevant information. They also add the only aircraft of this type in service with the sleeping giant Air Force reappeared in Europe a year and a half after the last visit in January 2022. The sleeping giant then transferred the WC-135 Constant Phoenix to the British Mildenhall Air Force Base. It is worth noting that the appearance of this aircraft in Europe is an extremely rare event. This aircraft is located in the area of the Korean Peninsula, where its primary objective is to monitor North Korea. You guys already know why, because North Korea does launch, they'll be launching all those short range and mid range. The Boeing WC-135 Constant Phoenix is a special mission aircraft based on the Boeing C-135 used by the U.S. Air Force, designed to collect samples from the atmosphere to detect and locate nuclear explosion. It was delivered in the mid-60s of the last century, and it's already considered outdated. What is the reason for current transfer of the aircraft to Crete? Most likely, the reason was Crane and this region, Crane and the leader, Mr. Z, statements about a provocation that the bear is allegedly preparing at this region nuclear power plant. The WC-135 Constant Phoenix is a radiological surveillance aircraft whose primary missions are to monitor nuclear tests, monitor nuclear weapons, and collect air samples for the presence of radioactive substance. From the same base, RQ-48 Global Hawk reconnaissance UAVs and RC-135W Revent joint aircraft take off for the Black Sea region. All right, so that's very important info there for those of you that don't know what's a Constant Phoenix. It's a plane that sniff air and samples of the atmosphere to see if the air quality is good, and if there's any radiation or nuclear radiation activity, it will be a huge problem, because then the wind is going to blow it to certain countries. And I just showed you Turner's article, July the 4th and the 5th, winds are going to be blowing towards NATO countries. Would there be a nuclear incident? All right, Mr. Z continues. He said the bear is preparing a remote explosion of the nuclear power plant. This is him assuming, because he ain't no prophet. I'll tell you that. The man ain't no prophet. I seen the video and I couldn't believe it was him. There's a video of him with high heels and with tights and everything. I'm like, this got to be fake. But again, guys, what do you expect? The end time, there will be a lot of fools, and many of these fools are going to be running lands. All right, so Mr. Z continues to raise the nuclear escalation index in Crane. Today, the Yellow Blue Country leader accused the bear of allegedly preparing a remote detonation of this region plant. In particular, Mr. Z made another statement on this issue, talking about a certain bear plan. Okay, Mr. Z, if you think something big is going to happen, get everyone out of there then. If you are so paranoid, maybe you should talk to the bear. I'm not gonna talk to them unless they leave. Well, again, then you don't want to talk to them, and you just asking for a lot of stuff. This time, he accused the bear of preparing a false, of this plant, which will happen after the bear transfer the nuclear power plant under the control of Crane and the IAEA. According to him, the bear troops have already laid mines in the station and are preparing to detonate. And again, we already talked about this. The reason why this mines is to keep enemy away from this plant. Let's say, and guys, these biblical wars, you have mines. And again, for those that serve in the military, you guys know that mines were put in place for enemies, right? Again, these mines has taken out almost 200 NATO tanks. So in that same region. So and Sleeping Giant soldiers and other foreign soldiers, they were impacted by mines a couple of days ago. I just posted a video of it not too long ago. So Mr. Z is saying, oh, they got mines surrounded the nuclear power plant. They're going to do something to that. No. If you put up a fence, an electric fence around a facility, is it meant to attack the facility, or is it meant to keep people out? There's a sign saying no trespassing. But Mr. Z in his head, this fence is to attack the facility. All right, so according to him, the bear troops have already laid mines in the station. It doesn't mean that, that's their plan to blowing it up. It's just Mr. Z assuming things. So the bear is technically ready to cause a local explosion at the station. This is just, I don't know who in the world believes this. It just, those that believe all this type of stuff, I mean, I pray for those people. Again, Mr. Z is saying that the bear is technically ready to cause a local explosion at the station, which could lead to the release of some very powerful stuff into the air. Why can there be detonation from a distance? Said Mr. Z. I'm sorry. Everything that this dude says, I don't believe anything this man says. Him and Mr. Burns are like the biggest money hunger in world history. I mean, come on. See the map with a plane landing in Crete and the leaflets distributed by Mr. Z Gov. So this is the stuff that he's putting out there. What to do in case of a radiation accident. Stay in shelter, in a room. Follow the official ones, sources of information. Disinfect yourself. Wash if possible. Take a shower with soap. Wash your head with shampoo. Do not use hair conditioners to avoid fixing the radiation material. Do not rub or scratch the skin to prevent radioactive. These words are getting smaller and smaller. My goodness. If it is not possible to take a shower, wash your hands with soap and running water. Your face and open areas of your skin. Pay an individual attention to guys. Some of these words are translated, it doesn't make any sense. All right, so I truly apologize. Put on clean clothes. This is the same information that was put out there in New York City. I think it was a public service announcement. They even had all these flyers in the subway and bus transportation. All right, so this is the stuff Mrs. Z has put out. So they're saying that the bear is going to do something. The bear came out and said this is nonsense. Why will we do something like this? If only the sleeping giant could mind their own business and just, I mean, leave that to the bear and crane. Let them figure that stuff out. But again, the sleeping giant got to get involved in everything. Got to get involved. I see cars with a whole bunch of bumper sticker of the yellow and blue color. I'm like, man, it just, I mean, it's much worse than the hippies. You know, the hippies back then, they had that Volkswagen that I don't know what you call them vehicles. It's like a van, and they got all these stickers of peace and stuff like that. I see one with the yellow blue country sticker all over the back windows, all over the bumpers. We stand with the yellow blue country. I'm like, oh man, a lot of people not doing their homework right. So this is very important information. Winds are going to blow towards NATO countries. Is there going to be something July the 4th and the 5th? Again, guys, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just giving you guys information. That's where the nuclear power plant is at. And something happens here, radiation will go towards NATO country. And Mr. Burns is going to have goosebumps. NATO will have goosebumps. They're going to be so happy. Article 5, we need your sons and daughters. We need your sons and daughters. Mr. Z said that a couple of months ago. We need your sons and daughters, and many of them are not going to survive. When stuff like this happen, run towards the mountain. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Once again, for those of you that want to give a life to Christ, you can email me. My email is in the description box. Me and my wife are here to help many and to lead many to the righteous path, and that's the path of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, Louis Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Once again, guys, $1 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream every Sunday. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Give your life to Jesus Christ and get baptized. We are living in tough times. Till next time later. Peace.